Hey everybody, what is up? Nursky gonna be coming to you guys with another SC2 strategy video. Of course, it is gonna be focusing on Zerg because I ladder with Zerg. It's the matchup of all the matchups that I know the most in-depth knowledge about. Obviously, as a commentator, I know a lot about Terran matchups and Protoss matchups, but it's a little more general, and there's less specific things that I know about those matchups. So I know a lot of the specific nuances of the Zerg matchup. So I'm going to be sticking with Zerg strategy videos anytime I'm doing a strategy video, unless I re-roll another race sometime in the none-too-distant future. I also had a couple of commentaries I just put up from some of the MLG Arena Qualifier videos that I did for MLG. I'm going to be putting all of them up eventually. It's like a 2-week waiting window that you normally have to wait. I'm pretty sure they've even released all the replays for it by now. So I'm going to be getting all of those up soon, because I know that I can. So I'll have some commentaries going up, but in the meantime, between putting up those commentaries, I think I'm going to be doing some more strategy videos for you guys here, trying to help some people with some matchups that they are maybe struggling in a little bit. So anybody who's a Zerg player, hope you enjoy these strategy sessions. So first off, this is of course going to be one of my games once again. Anytime I'm doing a strategy video, I'm probably going to be using my games, because I can tell you guys then what I was thinking throughout the game, which I think is important. Because if I cannot tell you what I am doing, what good's the video if I'm watching somebody else and I'm like, they just did something and I don't understand it. And you're like, well, that doesn't help me at all, thanks a bunch. So I'm going to be using my games. So anyways, back to playing. So, one of the matchups that I think a lot of people struggle in, I'm going to pause it just for a second here, especially Zerg players, is ZvZ. I have met more than a handful of people who say, well, in ZvZ, whether they're a Masters player, I've even met some Grandmasters level players when I've gone to LAN events, who are like, I just 6-pool and I'm all in because I'm not comfortable with Ling Baneling wars, and I don't feel like going roaches early is really all that good, because it normally puts you behind economically, and if somebody does early Baneling build, like a 10-pool, 13 Baneling nest, which is an actual build, it's for very, very fast Banelings without Zergling speed, you can just die while you're waiting to go to roaches. So people don't like to use that. So instead they just 6-pool, because they feel like that gives them the best chance to win. Well, preferably you want to hatch first into gas and then a pool, or you want to just go gas pool. The best 2 builds out there is either just a 14 gas, 14 pool, or some people will prefer to go 14 hatch, 14 gas, 14 pool. Or some people are really brave and they'll do 15, 15, 15. Any way you do it, you pretty much always want to use a gas pool build and get your Zergling speed right away. Now, I don't like to hatch first because there's a lot of people on the ladder who 6-pool, and while you can micro your drones just perfectly and stop a 6-pool from killing you, it's really difficult, and you've got to out-micro your opponent to actually make it work. So I prefer not to hatch first just in case they 6-pool, because I don't want to have to deal with canceling a hatch and then trying to defend and trying not to die while I wait for Zerglings, especially people who will like bring 2 drones and they'll drop like 2 spine crawlers in your base, and now you're trying to kill spine crawlers with drones while you're stalling for your pool to get up so that you can build links. So I don't prefer it. So I prefer 14-14. I think a lot of people, if you don't feel super safe in ZvZ, you can do 14-14. You're not going to just insta-die from 6 pools normally. Whereas if you like 15 hatch, you're a lot of times just going to die outright from a 6-pool all-in type of build, especially if they pull all but like one of their drones and they just come attack you. So I like the 14-14, so that's how I'm going to play this build out. I'm going to explain it to you guys as I do it. Took a 14 gas, 14 spawning pool. Quick side note, he actually takes a 13 gas, 13 spawning pool, and he's behind. If you don't feel safe doing 14-14, just go for your 10-pool or your 6-pool, because you might as well, because this actually just ends up being slower in the overall and bad. So do it right, don't try and like build it like 1 drone earlier, because the lost economy from that 1 drone, you end up like it's funky, like you would think it's faster, but it's actually not. So anyways, getting back to our game. So I'm going to watch the income tab here for a little while, or actually I'm going to leave the D tab on. So what I'm going to do, the second that I'm about to hit 100 gas, normally around 92 gas, I pull 1 drone off of gas. I'm going to leave 2 in gas. And there is a reason for that with this build. So I'm leaving just 2 drones in gas. As soon as my pool pops, I'm going to immediately start my metabolic boost, and I'm going to immediately start my queen before I build any zerglings. Zerglings are secondary to the queen getting started right away and metabolic boost getting started right away, because you don't want to be behind on those upgrades. As you can see, my opponent is a good 20 ticks behind me in zergling speed, which is bad. You don't want to end up that way. The other thing I'm going to do with this build in particular is I'm going to build exactly 6 zerglings. Now the reason I build exactly 6 zerglings is going to be, and I'm going to actually pause it for a second because my Baneling nest is down. I want to talk about that for a second. The reason why I build 6 zerglings is because I like to be the aggressor. In the ZvZ matchup, I feel more comfortable being the aggressor. And if I build at least 6 zerglings, the most zerglings people are normally going to build right off the bat is 6 to 8. So with 6, I can at least move towards his base and feel fairly confident that if he built 2 more than that, well, then I'm probably at least a drone ahead of him and I can just pull back. And if he built less than that, like he's playing skimpily and he's built more drones and he's maybe got 2 to 4 lings, then I can get in his face and get really aggressive with him. Because ideally I want to try and be as aggressive as possible without putting myself behind. As for this Baneling nest timing, how this works out is by leaving 2 drones in gas, and this is why I leave 2 drones in gas. I can build exactly 1 drone, and I actually built it late, so the minerals didn't work out perfectly. But if you pull off at about 92 gas, which is a little bit before your pool's going to pop if you go 14-14, you'll end up with 100 gas for the pool. You'll go ahead and start your metabolic boost, and then with those 2 drones left in gas, this moment you hit 50 gas, you should have the exact right amount of drones, which is going to be 15. See, this 15th drone's on the way because I forgot to build it, and that was actually my mistake. You should have 15 drones, and additionally, you should be rebuilding the 15th drone again and have exactly 150 minerals. So as you put this down, you go up to 16 for like maybe a split second, or down to 14 for a split second, and then right back to 15. So you're maintaining 15 harvesters. So I'm going to build these 6 zerglings. I'm going to clean up his drone, because I don't want it in my base. I don't want him scouting. I don't care that he's seen the Baneling nest. I'm perfectly fine with that. And now I'm going to build 1 more drone, so I'm going to go back up to 16 again. And I'm immediately going to save my minerals. Now that the Baneling nest is down, I'm starting to bank gas to put my expansion hatchery down before I build anything else. So the opening that I prefer to use to be aggressive with this, once again, is 14-14, 14 gas, 14 pool. Leave drones on here till about 92 gas. Then I pull 1 drone off and leave 2 in. Metabolic boost and queen the moment this pool comes up. I'm going to build 6 zerglings so I can try and be a little bit aggressive and in the face of my opponent. And then I'm going to build 2 drones, but I'm only going to build 1 of them at first. I'm only going to have larva for 1 anyways. I'm going to build 1 drone. As soon as I build that 1 drone, I'm going to have 50 gas and 150 minerals. I'm going to drop the Baneling nest as soon as I hit 50 gas, and I'll have that 150 minerals too. And then I'm going to replace that drone, so since I'm going to dip back down, I'm going to build 1 more drone, and then I'm going to be saving and not building anything else until I'm ready to put down this hatchery. And now I'm going to sit on this look for a little while here. And I'll be droning up and stuff behind us, but this is what I'm going to be sitting on for a little while I then now switched into nothing but zergling production. So I'm going to just start rallying zerglings over here towards my natural. There's a reason why I'm not going to rally them forward towards my opponent and towards my natural, and I'll show you guys in a second. So now after this, I'm going to build some zerglings, and I'm also going to probably eventually build an overlord here for a second. So I'm moving forward now, and I want you guys to look at the production queue, because this is really important. If you look at the production queue, you can see my metabolic boost and my Baneling nest are going to finish at right about the exact same time. And this is important that they do finish at about the same time, because it means that I'm going to have the ability to build Banelings and have zergling speed, and it lines up at a really nice clean timing there. You can see that I was a little bit off, but it's pretty close. So now I have zergling speed. I see he doesn't, so I'm going to get a little bit aggressive. I'm going to attack in. I'm going to kill a few of his zerglings, and I'm going to retreat. Now behind this, you see me retreating. I can see he has more zerglings than me. I'm assuming that he's probably getting metabolic boost, but I haven't seen a whole lot just yet. I did see he put down his pool. I saw his gas. I actually poked in with the overlord. So I saw his pool and gas timing, so I was assuming that he was doing a speedling opening. Whether he dropped the Baneling nest or not was kind of irrelevant to me. So I know he's going to have zergling speed suit. I'm going to retreat, and this is why I rallied those lings back to my natural, because now I can start some Banelings now that my Baneling nest is finished and I have zergling speed. And by the time these retreating Zerglings, if I were forced to retreat, get back to my base, I'm going to have Banelings available so that had he chased me with all of these Zerglings across the map, I'd have these 4 Banelings ready to go so I could use them defensively. Now, ideally, I'd want to leave 2 Banelings behind, and I normally actually put them up near the top of my ramp. I'll put like maybe 1 over here and 1 over here. Just in case, like maybe he squirted out with a couple of Zerglings somewhere into the middle of the map and somehow avoided my Overlord. Like there's this little tiny sliver of space. If he went like way roundabout, he maybe could have gotten around. But I just like to leave a Baneling or so behind just to try and prevent Ling run values, make it a little bit easier to deal with them. Buys you time while you try and get out a couple of Zerglings to deal with it. But now I'm going to immediately get aggressive. I'm going to send the majority of my Banelings right away across the map to try and get my opponent's face. Second most important thing here when dealing with ZvZ and Ling Baneling battles to help you guys out, hotkey their units separately. Put the Banelings on one hotkey, put the Zerglings on the other. Why do we do that? Well, because you essentially want to always be move commanding Banelings. You never want to really attack command them. You can attack command them in the drones, but it's actually a lot of times better just to use the X button that explodes the Banelings. So you typically never want to actually attack command them. You want to be moving them somewhere. So like right now, I probably have them move commanded over to the middle of his drone line, because that's where I want to get to with these Banelings. But as you're going to see here, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to actually see this Baneling, and I'm going to immediately retreat back here. And I'm going to grab just 1 Zergling and send it after this Baneling right away, because that's how you want to play this. Now, we're in the situation that a lot of people get into. Some people are sometimes the aggressor, sometimes people are the defender, and everybody hates being this guy. Poor Stanley. My heart really does go out for him. Because nobody wants to be in Stanley's position. Being the defender always feels disgusting in Ling Baneling. And it's to your advantage to be the aggressor, because right now, no matter what I do here, if I want to build some drones behind this, which I very darn well can, you see I'm actually building my second queen, I've got a spine crawler for defense on the way, I could start building drones right now, and there's nothing Stanley can really do about it. He can't get out of his base, because I'm being aggressive with him right now. He's seen my Banelings, he's seen my Lings, he has to play defensively, he has to defend his base. He can't really move out right now. He could just send his Zerglings out, but then he's risking losing a couple of Banelings and me just overrunning his base and killing all of his drones. So you can't really do that just yet. Now he does do something smart, and he sends out just a handful of Zerglings, I believe, after my 1 Zergling. And now what I'm going to do, and this is important, what Stanley should be doing here is he should be spreading out. Having all of his units bunched up like this, you can actually see he doesn't even have them on a hotkey right now. He should have all of his Lings on one hotkey, his Banelings on another, and he should have them spread out so that he can move them around independently. A lot of times Banelings is best to have them on hold position when you're playing defensively, because you don't want them to accidentally explode when somebody sends in a Zergling. So like right now, if he doesn't have these on hold position, I'm looking and it doesn't look like he does. No, he doesn't have these on hold position. If I wanted to right now, I could just send this Baneling into this pile of stuff and this Baneling as well, and they're going to actually attack my Baneling, and he risks losing all of that to just 2 Banes right off the bat. He could lose all this stuff, and he'd be dead at that point. So I just attack with my last Baneling and all my Zerglings, and I would just absolutely destroy him. So you want to be more spread out, and ideally have your Banelings at the bare minimum on hold position. A lot of times you either want to keep your Lings back, or have them on a hold position as well, so you can send them out just 1 or 2 at a time. So I'm going to send my Banelings out, and I'm move commanding them. This is very important. I'm just move commanding them. I literally click them, and I wanted them spread like this because I don't want his Banelings to be cost effective. I don't want his Zerglings to be cost effective against my Banelings. If I saw him go ahead and attack these with his Zerglings, I saw him pull back, I would immediately come forward with my Zerglings and try and defend while keeping away from his Banelings. Because I'm just move commanded all through these Banelings separately. I just literally clicked, click, 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 click to send them in here. Because spreading these out are huge so that it's not cost effective for him to stop them. I'm going to try and get into his mineral line here and do some damage. He's going to send a Zergling up. I'm going to send just a handful of my Zerglings forward. And I'm going to actually end up getting 2 Banelings for a handful of Zerglings. Now I'm morphing these in. And another tip in ZvZ when you're doing Ling Baneling battles is when you morph Banelings in, you can actually just move command them. Like say you're going to go back to your base and do some macro stuff, which is exactly what I was about to do here. You don't really want to babysit these. Just morph them and then set a move command, and that means that they're not going to attack anything until they get to this point right here. So that's going to give me time to get back and look at them before they actually explode. And then, additionally, if you're the defender, you really don't want to move up with all your Zerglings and start attacking Baneling eggs that you haven't seen. This is good. Sending out the single Baneling to hit these because I wasn't paying attention to them because I was back at home doing some macro stuff, injecting and whatnot, or just about to inject. Anywho's, this is good. Having one Baneling to try and trade with these Banelings. Now, one Baneling's not going to kill all of these, but it is going to weaken them to the point where it only takes a hit or two. But had one of these hatched early, and his Ling's been attacking, he might have actually lost all of these Zerglings for a single Baneling, which would have been really good for me. Because had I been just rallying to the front of his base, he could potentially be dead right now. That'd be really bad for him. So he's going to get a hit on a couple of my Banes. They're move commanded. I'm going to come back to them, and now you see me spreading them out. I'm just slicing them. And I end up actually killing all of his Zerglings with just 2 Banes. 2 Banes are going to get into his base. And here I'm just going to explode them. That's just me using the X command while I move command them around the map. So I'm just trying to get as close as I can. And just like that, I've killed 10 workers. And now, as we go into the rest of the game, I'm going to have about a 10 worker advantage, because back at home I'm pretty sure I'm going to actually build a couple of workers after building these initial couple of Zerglings. As the defender, as a quick note, anytime you're about to have to deal with Banelings, just literally box drag and grab all of your drones, even if you grab queens and overlords and that fun. Click them to some point in your base that's as far away as you can get in the opposite direction of Baneling. So Baneling's coming in here. Like, click up here. And then just literally slice the groups of drones. Like, just slice off little groups of drones, 2, 3 drones. And then send them in different directions. So you'd literally just be like slice, click, slice, click, slice, click, slice, click. Because if you spread them out, he probably wouldn't have lost 10 workers, because I only had 4 Banes. He probably would have, at most, he would have lost 6. And even if he was moving them in groups of 3. Best case, he would have only lost 4. And if he only lost 4 instead of 10, right now it'd be pretty much even, 17 to 17 harvesters, and he'd be looking a lot better moving into the mid-game. So I'm going to hit play again. Now, we've talked about that a little bit. Now, behind this, I'm going to stay aggressive. I'm going to immediately send out more Zerglings. I'm not going to build the Banelings back in my base. I have a Baneling back there to defend already. I'm just going to send my Zerglings straight across the map. I'm going to try and be a little bit careful when I am moving up. I'm more than prepared to just immediately back up if I see a Baneling coming. And I'm just going to keep morphing in more Banelings out of his vision. I don't want him to see how many. I'm going to keep rallying them. Send in a handful of Zerglings. There's that move command I was talking about. I end up getting rid of all but one of his Banes, and now I've got 4 Banelings on the way. I'm going to try and snipe his queen. I'm not going to quite be able to do it. And now my Banes are going to come forward. I actually end up trying to send one of them over here. And I didn't actually spread those out very good. And as you can see, the end result was I didn't get any drones actually in that. I just got some really weak. Had I actually spread those out, that single Bane wouldn't have been as cost effective. And I probably would have at least killed these 3 drones on the edge here. Bare minimum. Because he wouldn't have been able to pick them off. But nonetheless, I did enough damage in the early game when I killed those 10 drones. So I'm going to have about a 15 harvester advantage now. As you can see, abusing that rush distance that I have, I've now switched into roach tech. I'm about to build a couple of roaches in just a second here. I think I literally have an overlord on the way, because my roach warren just popped to be able to go to roaches. And I'm going to just play defensively here. And because I have an advantage now, I can basically dictate the rest of the game. I know I have a huge advantage. I only need to maintain it. I prefer to transition out of Ling Banelings for all of you guys. If you do feel like you get an advantage, you kill a couple of his workers. And you don't have to worry about him countering right away. If you want to transition out of it, get 3 harvesters back on your gas. Get your roach warren down. Keep building Zerglings while your roach warren isn't up yet, and keep trying to stay aggressive with your opponent. Build a handful of Banelings here and there, and try and do some damage. And then behind that, while you're stalling, while you get your roach warren up, you can start to drone behind it. And then additionally, basically what you're going to do is, with the gas that you can mine on one gas, you're going to build a handful of roaches until you get up to 6, 7 roaches, 5 at the least, I'd say, 7 or 8 at the most, so that you can defend if he tries to Ling Baneling all in you. And you're going to spend all the rest of your minerals on just hardcore droning and overlords until you're ready to not build any more roaches, which is going to be at that 5 to 8 mark. and then switch into saving up gas to go to lair, grabbing your additional gas geysers. You can already see I'm starting to grab one right now because I'm getting ready to transition as soon as I build a handful of roaches. And transition into whatever build you're going to go into. If you're going to go roach infester, that's fine. You can start droning up, you can go to lair, you can grab your additional gases, you can grab your third, get yourself in a good defensive position with your roaches as you start to drone up. Or if you're going to go muta, you can grab your gases, throw down. Basically, any additional, once you drone up and you saturate completely, any additional minerals when you're going mutas, you just want to keep building spine crawlers. You don't want to build lings because lings are useless against roaches. You just want to keep building spines. So you might end up with 6 or 7 spines at the front of your base by the time you actually build mutas, but that's perfectly fine because that means if he pushes with roaches, like 10 or 12 roaches, he's just going to lose them all to 6 or so spine crawlers. That's generally the idea of what you want to do when you're going mutas. So that's going to be it for now, guys. I hope I wasn't too wordy with it. I hope some of the advice makes you guys feel a little bit more confident in the ZvZ Ling Baneling battles for you Zerg players. The build, one last time before I'm going to wrap this up and do a couple of quick shoutouts of things I got coming up, is 14 gas, 14 pool. I'm going to drone back to 15. I'm going to take my Baneling nest as soon as I have 50 gas, leaving just 2 workers once I have enough gas for metabolic boost in here. As soon as I'm at 50 gas, drop the Baneling nest, build 1 more additional worker. That's going to put me back up to the 15 worker mark, and then I'm going to end up putting down my or it should actually take me to the 16 worker mark, and then with that 16 worker, I take my expansion hatchery. When the pool pops, immediately you get metabolic boost, immediately you get your queen. I build 6 zerglings, and then I'm going to save and build just 1 drone, Baneling nest, 1 drone, hatchery, so that I'm staying at 15 harvesters. And then you're going to immediately take those 6 zerglings and start trying to get aggressive with your opponent, and you're going to rally more zerglings back home while your metabolic boost and Baneling nest gets finished up. And then as soon as that's done, you can morph a couple of Banelings. If you're being aggressive and they're not really defending very well, you can just use the zerglings that are forward to morph Banelings in, and then drag additional zerglings from your main back up to wherever you're attacking them. But always make sure you leave at least a Bane or 2 at home, so that if they do somehow manage to do a zergling run by, you can play defensively. That's going to be it for now, guys. Hope this was educational for you all. This is Nursky saying peace easy. My shoutouts right before I go. I know this just sounded really clumsy that I started doing like my sign off, and then I'm going to shout this out real quick. I have a new show coming up actually, and the VODs are going to be here. I'm going to be doing a show with Iron Man SC, Superman, and Prodigy. They are part of the ESV map making team. That's going to be on twitch.tv/Nerski, Nerski. So make sure you guys come check that out. It's going to start March 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern. So I did want to shout that out before I go, because I do want people to check that show out, because it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be talking esports and some map design specific things with some of the best map makers in the business. And then of course follow me on Twitter. It's just at VP Nerski, that's it. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter as well for all my updates. It'll tell you when my videos are uploaded. I retweet a lot of people's stuff for tournaments and whatnot. Anyways, guys, I am going to get out of here for real this time. Talk to you later. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.